And now let us have a look at our passage 4 that was given to us in the mock. So what does it really talk about? I think the key theme is given to us in the very first paragraph itself. So we're saying melody provides us pleasure, but then what the mechanism is behind it all is something that is unknown, and there are different theories developed. So the first paragraph introduces that theme, and then subsequently we go ahead and look at different theories proposed. So there is this first theory. In the second paragraph, then when you look at the third paragraph, it talks about an analogic way, or basically a parallel between the natural world and the music. Thereafter, music as an imitative or mimetic medium has been discussed, and finally it boils down to, or it comes down to, this last paragraph where we talk about music independent of poetry altogether. So that's what the focus is. So let us get ahead and talk about the questions. So here is your summary, and thereafter the first question that was asked. Which one of the following sets of terms best serves as keywords to the passage? So what do you think, what is required? All that we need is a mental overview of the passage, and that should allow us to answer this question. So passage 1 talked about melody provides us with pleasure, but how? No definitive answer. I'm sorry, it's not passage 1, paragraph 1. Paragraph 2 says that there are different theories proposed to explain it. Then paragraph 3 talks about the depiction of the natural sentiments or features of the world captured in the language of poetry, thereby eliciting a pleasurable response. And this is the paragraph that also mentions René Descartes. Then para 3 says music is imitative or mimetic medium, where it imitates the sound of emotion. Then paragraph 4 said that music is equal to passionate utterance. Paragraph 5 then explored the aesthetic power of musical sound as a matter independent of poetic expression. So the shape of music imitate feelings. So that was the gist. So we started off by talking about melody and pleasure, not Plato. Plato was merely introduced there to answer a rhetorical question. In fact, throughout the passage, I think the theories proposed by different people matters more than the names involved. Similarly, when you look at poetics, Descartes, where is melody, where is pleasure? That core link is missing. So melody, pleasure, that's fine. Subsequently, we talked about music imitates or is mimetic. Then music is equal to passion. Then finally, musical sounds independent of poetry. C gives us everything in the right order. D says pleasure, yes, although no melody here, but Matheson, you realize he was in the last paragraph. So what is it doing here? Musical materials was just a minor thing. Passions, yes. Correspondence is imitation or analogy, which was there in the third. So I think the order is also not right in D, so we can rule it out. And thus, the best option for us here is option C. So question number 13, C is the answer. And with that, let's move over to question number 14. Based on the passage, which of the following is valid about the purpose and significance of René Descartes' Compendium Musicae? Okay, let us see. It was something that was mentioned in the third paragraph. A, it aimed to provide a detailed account of the movements of the soul. No. René Descartes, in fact, started his book and left it midway because he felt that he would need a more detailed account of the movements of the soul. It's not the aim, but the aim required that knowledge. Because he did not have that knowledge, he dropped that midway. So A can most certainly be ruled out. B, it aimed to explain how music can imitate the natural world and elicit a pleasurable response through its analogic relation with poetry. Ooh, I can see the trap. It uses all the words from the passage, but it distorts the relationship. The analogic relation existed between the poetry and the natural sentiments or the features of the world. And the relation was not between music and poetry. I guess some people would definitely fall into this trap because it superficially resembles what was given in that paragraph. Not true. C. It proposed correspondences between musical materials and the passions in order to understand how music can shape the feeling of the listener. Hey, this was proposed by later thinkers. This has got nothing to do with René Descartes and therefore can be eliminated. D. It attempted to provide an understanding how, I would have preferred an off here, but it's okay, of how music could provide pleasure but failed to provide substantive insights. Absolutely yes. That was the aim, but then he could not finish it. So D, although is not very specific, not very detailed, but when I compare, this is the only answer choice which is correct, albeit in a generic version. So we should pick up D and mark that as our answer. And with that, 14th D, let's move over to our 15th question. What is the author trying to communicate in this quoted extract? So those pure comprehension based questions that I so very often call idea restatement questions. So the sentence is, one can imagine a melody as a distant echo of something more primal, the direct expression of emotion in the form of a raw cry. So this second half is actually an example. So when you cry, it just shows an emotion, right? That cry has no other meaning associated. So similarly, we are saying the melody is just a distant echo of some emotion, something that is very primal to us. So let's see. A, the author is suggesting that music is a primitive form of communication. Well, the passage does not say that it is a primitive form of communication. Not mentioned, therefore irrelevant for us. So let's remove it. B, the author is arguing that music is a reflection of human emotions like a distant echo. That's close. C, the author is proposing that music can be used to imitate the sounds of emotions. Music can be used to imitate the sounds of emotions and passions versus music imitates the sound of emotions and passions. You see the difference here. The theory says music does that. It provides or connects or links a sound with a primal emotion. It does not say that it can be used to imitate, that it imitates. So this is a distortion, a very subtle one though, but we should rule out C. B is still better. D, the author is stating that music is a medium that can be used to elicit pleasurable responses by imitating the natural world like a distant echo of primal emotions. Well, it's not conveyed through this quote, at least the second part. It's not a distant. So music is a medium that can be used to elicit pleasurable responses was given by the earlier thinkers. It is not something that is connected with this particular sentence. It is not giving us the meaning of this sentence. You notice words like medium can be used to elicit pleasurable responses. Where is the pleasurable response in this sentence? It just says it's a reflection of primal emotion. So D can also be ruled out. So the best answer choice for us for question number 15 is option B. So let's highlight that and move over to our next question, question number 16. So which of the following would weaken Matheson's claim? Now Matheson's claim is given in the last paragraph where he talked about musical sounds independent of poetry and connected them with our passions. So if I look at A, studies have shown that different cultures have different emotional associations with the same musical material. Then it cannot be a part of, then a particular sound cannot be a part of our common passions, common emotions. Right? If it is true, then it tells us that there is no universal association of a type of music with a particular type of emotion. So the relationship given by Matheson will be very tenuous as a result. So expansive will not always mean happy. So you realize A definitely weakens. How about B? Okay, it draws from cognitive psychology, a field whose theories are not constant. Okay, the theories may change, but did they change in those crucial regards that affected Matheson's claims? We don't know, right? So does it weaken? We don't know. It may not. C, Other 18th century theorists disagree with Matheson's claim and proposed alternative theories. So, because others disagreed, does that mean Matheson was wrong? Maybe it was the others who were wrong. So, it definitely does not weaken. D. Studies have shown that Matheson's correspondences are limited to specific genres of music and not applicable to all types of music. Now, D also weakens, but it weakens it somewhat. It weakens it to a certain extent. It says that, okay, whatever he said was true for some forms of music, not the other forms of music. So, we cannot generalize and apply it to all music. When I compare A and D, you notice A definitely weakens. D merely limits the scope. Weakens but not entirely. Weakens only with respect to certain forms of music. And therefore, if I compare the two, I will prefer A over D, and thus our answer for question number 16th will be A. So that's it for our passage 4. I hope you'd keep reading art, music, philosophy, etc. to become more competent, more comfortable with these passages. Good luck.